Good morning. Next up, we have Beyond Chatbots, What Lies Ahead for Kids and AI, moderated by Robin Raskin. Robin?
Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations to all of you for finding us. It definitely, I know it was a hunt, but I hope it's worth it. Just like when the internet first showed up, we tested a whole generation and how they were going to grow up internet, and now we're looking at how a generation is going to grow up with AI. So I have this wonderful panel that's flying in right over my head. You'll meet, they're sitting in order that they're going to present. Elnaz Sarraf from ROYBI, Josh Garrett, who's the Chief Creative Officer at Readyland, Martin Horstman from BitOGenius, and David Phillips from Elf Labs. And these guys are really kind of at the forefront of using AI, not just to design their products, we'll talk about that a bit, but in their products, like actually have created AI products, and I want them to share their thoughts about that with you. But first, we want to just level set and see where you are on your journey. So, how many of you are using AI to develop, prototype, write your copy? Okay, we're there. How many of you are using it for marketing, script writing? We're there. And how many of you have actually put your AI inside of a toy? All right, you're gonna have to. We're gonna meet you after this. Okay, so we are AI guinea pigs. You know, if you talk to kids, which I'm sure you all do, they don't know. Just like they didn't know internet, they talk to chatbots. They don't know if it's real or not, or maybe it is. And they are just kind of clueless about whether it's an AI or not, which is going to create all sorts of interesting issues for you as toy developers. IDEO came out with some research. They help prototype products that ask kids, little old kids like 8 to 15, what do they want? They published a study called New AI, New Me. And what they found out was kids actually can tell, and they're looking for authentic relationships, and they want to feel sad, and they want to feel what a first date is like, and the chatbot thing will only go so far. So here's how we're going to run this. Lightning speed. We've got 4 experts who have all built AI into their products. We've got 4 general topics, and we've got 4 demos of their product. Got it? 4, 4, 4. Part 1. We're just going to ask everybody to go down the line and quickly say 2, 3 sentences. What are the perils and promises? We could talk about this all day, but Elnaz, why don't you start?
Sure, absolutely. Hi, everyone, and thank you for being here. Thanks to Robin for having all of us here. I think the last time I was on the panel with you was like 2 years ago at CES. That was awesome. Good to be here with all these amazing experts and everybody interested in AI. Well, first of all, I'm Elnaz, Sarraf, and I'm CEO of ROYBI. We make educational robots for kids. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more later. Promises, where do I even start? You know, I remember when we were actually pitching the idea of ROYBI 7, 8 years ago, there were a lot of people saying, why do we even need a product like this? Like, there were people literally telling me to stop making innovative products for kids, like including AI, for the younger generation. And then here we are, everybody's talking about ChatGPT. We talk to the teachers every day. They're like, does your robot even work with ChatGPT? Everybody these days now are using AI because it can really help not just kids, but also teachers, parents to personalize the experience, especially when it comes to learning and education. Now, disadvantages, there are many. I get a lot of questions about privacy. For example, many people ask, how do we protect our kids, And I think ultimately it goes to educating parents, teachers, how to utilize this new technology. Obviously, again, there's so much to talk about, like dependency on AI on a daily basis. We use it from morning to night, and same goes for children. But if you expose kids to AI early age and educate them to utilize this technology in a right way, I think that's very beneficial to them. And the disadvantages of they're not that much, I would say. But I can leave it.
Anybody want
Yeah, sure. I think that the opportunity with AI and the perils and promises are the following. I think the perils are kind of obvious, right? AI can go off on a tangent. You have to make sure you have the right safeguards and rails in there to make it safe for children, of course. But I think there's another concept here, because I think the idea of AI, the promise is that it makes things more immersive. And the idea is in play, in entertainment, in children interacting with something, the more immersive and sticky you make it, the more pleasure, enjoyment, and use out of that product the child can have. Where it can get too far is if we really bring these things to life, which is the goal, because you want that immersion, is the child going to get lost in that relationship in place of other relationships, in place of healthier play patterns? And I think the idea and what we all can do, and the power of AI, because it is sophisticated enough, is you can use it to program interplay between children and power up toys that they can actually build relationships, but then foster the child to go on a play date, foster the child to go play outside, etc. So I think it's actually a really powerful challenge, but with a lot of upside if we execute it the right way.
I'm going to talk about maybe a promise that hasn't been considered, and that's accessibility. So with our product, it's all about drawing and coming up with creative ideas. And there's plenty of people who don't necessarily have those skills, and there's plenty of people who, for a variety of reasons, can't. So AI and the promise of AI is making some of these things possible to these children that weren't possible before from an accessibility perspective.
And I'll just add, I think AI is an amazingly powerful tool, but I think it's dangerous when the AI itself becomes your solution for content for kids, because it's very easy for AI to deliver mediocre content to kids, deliver unsafe content for kids. And by unsafe, I don't just mean F-bombs, I just mean mixed messages, incorrect information. But I think the promise is if you use it well and intelligently as a tool, you can deliver even better content to kids. And so that's what we're focused on.
That's a lot to unpack, you guys. Great job. And I want you all to think back to the first generation of internet toys as internet-enabled toys, because there are real similarities, but on steroids. So let's turn to Elnaz and take a quick look at the ROYBI robot.
As I mentioned in the beginning, the idea of ROYBI actually started 7-8 years ago, and we started it because we wanted to utilize AI to focus on every child's learning abilities, their skills, rather than one size fits all. As we all know, education system is still very traditional, it's old school. And it's just recent years, I would say the last 2 years, that we can see that teachers and schools are gradually adapting to artificial intelligence. And our first generation product, ROYBI Robot, was launched about 3.5 years ago, which is an AI-powered educational robot for kids. We use AI to focus on language learning and helping children with their communication skills, because 1 out of 12 kids in the US alone, they have some sort of speech disorder. And the reason is, at early age, they're always glued on these displays, on TV, tablets, phones. They don't get to talk much. And our product really helps to talk to the kids. It starts with short stories and ask questions, and it can understand what they say. It can correct them and help them to also acquire vocabulary knowledge and even different languages. Since we started ROYBI, we expanded our product line into an AI edutainment app, which recently launched on TVs. I'll talk about it a little bit later. And as you can see on the screen, our robot got featured twice on the cover of Time magazine as one of the best inventions in education. We sold thousands of them, mostly in the US and a little bit around the world. We have pilot programs with schools. And we get feedback from the teachers that the kids really enjoy interacting with the robot through like groups. And they take the robot one by one, they go through stories, they talk, they interact. And we actually, through one of our studies, it showed that the screen time dropped by 46% for the kids that they interacted with ROYBI, which means they talked more, and the interaction increased by 86%. They started interacting with the robot for like 15 minutes a day to even 3 hours a day, which is really exciting metric to know that it's really working for kids. You can see the video. I think I need to play it one time.
Hi, my name is ROYBI.
Welcome, welcome, how do you do? I'm so glad to see you.
So the AI is personalizing them.
Yes.
Hold each other's hands too.
So it goes through like different
I have been on an
lessons,
African safari.
plays music,
Find the animals
lessons.
and say their names with me.
It's
I
very
see a
interactive.
lion. Good job. I see an elephant. What do you see?
Elephant.
Awesome. I see a monkey.
Monkey.
You got it.
And it also creates AI reports for parents and educators. They can see the progress, the pronunciation scores, improvements. And as I mentioned, over the past 3.5 years, as we were selling the robot to consumers, to schools, we got a lot of feedback from teachers and parents asking if we have another platform that the kids can utilize, on other platforms like TVs, on tablets as they grow up. So we extended our app on over 60 million LG TVs. If you have an LG TV, please turn it on. You'll see ROYBI Verse on TV. It is currently AI powered, and we are going to actually implement more AI technologies like AI agents as an avatar and a mentor that the child can actually talk to these avatars. It's going to be an interesting experience, especially on TVs and tablets. So we are excited about the opportunities there, and we are expanding on more platforms by utilizing machine learning as well, so we can learn more about what the kids are learning and how we can help them further.
Great. You can click to the next slide. So it reminds me of the Alexas and buy me a pony. Buy me a pony. You will be able to have agentic AIs in the background, booking your kid's next travel trip if we're not careful. So move on to there's your. We're going to go to second question. What we're seeing a lot of are chatbots that to engage kids with a toy, and the question is, kids, as I pointed out in the IDEO study, are sensing the cringiness of that experience. How do we make that better? David, let's start with you.
Yeah,
How do you
sure.
make that chatbot experience?
Well, I think I think you need a lot of different technologies to do it in the way at least I see it. You have the AI power up the discussion, right? You have it power up the intercommunication. That's what makes it more immersive and more real. We know that part. I think for us, what we're focused on is creating more immersive graphics and online presence where characters and avatars that look like the character that the kid wants to play with or talk to is the actual avatar talking back to the child, as opposed to a little chat box that pops up on the screen. And if you can put play and you can put gaming and you can put entertainment and kind of interwoven it all together, I think that's where the cringiness effect starts to come out and it becomes more, really the word I'm going to say a lot is immersive and real.
I think another thing to think about with the chatbots is actually the content. A great use of incorporating a chatbot is, imagine you have your story, right? Or whatever it is that the kids are trying to interact with. And the chatbot can have far more knowledge of that than you can put in the words in the small children's books. And then the chatbot can be a source of information for the kids who really love these worlds or love these characters and want to engage them with them, learn more about them. So if you think about the content that's going into the chatbots, that could be a real benefit.
I'd just add, a lot of us, when we think AI today, we think chatbot. You don't have to do a chatbot. There are a lot of ways to use AI that are super compelling that you don't use a chatbot. For us, for example, we want to make sure all the content we're giving to kids is designed by humans who are experts and understand what's compelling for kids. So we're looking at using AI to understand what kids are saying to us, and that increases our recognition dramatically, but then we funnel that to our own content that we then give back to the kids. So the biggest message I have for you is AI does not mean chatbot, and it's a very powerful tool in a lot of other ways.
Yeah, that's a great segue to look at Josh's product. How many of you have seen Readyland? Okay, well, there's some familiarity because it's a really interesting non-chatbot way. And I just like an AI to talk to my grandkids.
We'll work on that next. And many thanks to Robin, who is just a force of nature in our industry, and really appreciate being here. So I'm really excited to share Readyland with you. And I'm going to start with just a little bit of background. Readyland is a collaboration between Dave Capper, who's here today, and Creativity Inc. Now, for those of you who don't know Dave, Dave is a bit of a legend in the toy industry. He started at Mattel and brought up a little property you might have heard of called He-Man, made it an immense success, went on to do the same for Koosh, went on to invent the iconic products, Hit Clips, Video Now, Tooth Tunes, and many more. I've worked with Dave for many years as part of Creativity, which is a premier developer for the toy industry. We worked for a lot of the people in this building over the last 25 years, making somewhere over 7,000 products, Toady winners, really awesome interactive electronic products. And we came up with this idea together called Readyland. So now I'm just going to show you a short video to give you an idea of what it is.
Open Readyland.
Welcome to Readyland. When you see the school bus, say I'm ready.
I'm ready. Ready. I'm ready.
Now we'll read the words on these pages.
Rosie loves to smell the flowers and listen to the birds.
Let's play I Spy. What do you see that's yellow? Banana. That's right. I was thinking of the banana. Bananas are yummy. Let's make a smoothie together. What should we add first? For cupcakes. A cupcake in a smoothie? Yeah. Yummy. Don't forget to take off the wrapper. Okay. Now we can try our smoothie.
I love those kids so much. So as you can see, we're a platform built on Alexa. Why Alexa? Well, first of all, it's amazingly powerful. And if you saw the news this week with Alexa Plus, it's just getting more powerful. But almost more important to us is it's extremely accessible. There's a massive user base, hundreds of millions of Echoes out there. And what's even better is you don't even have to buy an Echo to use it. It works on the free app on any phone or tablet. So our Readyland experience is just available, which is fantastic. Now, the response has just been stellar. We've been so delighted with what our users have been telling us, 4.7 stars. And also the media response has been super wonderful. We've been on The View, on the Today Show, on stations all around the country. And in fact, last holiday, we were featured as the highlight on the Kelly Clarkson Holiday Show. And it's just a fun clip, so I'm going to share this short clip.
Finally, you guys are going to love this. And I have finally saved truly the best for last.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you guys ready? Yeah! 3, 2, let's
Here we go.
Come on. These are fantastic, right? These are the Readyland books, and they're designed to be read with Alexa. They are the first books where kids can actually talk to the characters, and it changes every single time. I love that so much.
That was a lot of fun. And today, for this year, I'm really excited to announce a partnership. We have joined forces with a major, amazing publisher called Insight Editions. Their CEO is with us today, and they make the most beautiful books across any license you could hope for. We're extremely excited, and we're starting our journey with them with educational books for older readers. So we're making a line called the Discover series, And all of these books will be what we call ready activated. So you can imagine you're reading about dinosaurs, you're hearing the ambient sounds around you while you read. And at any point, when you want to, you can say, read it to hear it read to you. You can hear the pronunciations of those dinosaur names. You can say, learn more to get more information beyond the page. You can talk to an expert, a paleontologist, the author. You can hear news reports from the past. You can play interactive trivia games to test your knowledge. And of course, you want to hear what these things might have sounded like, right? So you can always say, hear it. And you're pulled fully into this world. And then finally, we're really excited to be talking to multiple partners, potential partners, about bringing this platform to toys. Don't need batteries, be brought into the world, talk to IP, and yeah, we're very excited about where we're going.
So Josh, you told me a great story once about the kid who sitting there talking to their Alexa and says, Mom, I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, no, it was, they were doing the experience and they looked up their mom and they said, oh, you mean that we can filter that stuff out? Yeah, so sorry.
Yeah.
One of the things we can use AI for specifically is in understanding what the kids say much better. So we can understand, you know, we have to right now think of all the ways they might say something on the page, but with AI, our recognition goes sky high, including filtering out things like, Mom, I have to go to the bathroom, and understanding they're not talking to the book right now. So for us, just that is an amazing power of the tool.
Yeah, and certainly beyond chatbots. So when you click, are you done? Yeah, no, you're not done. Next one. Okay, we're going to go quickly down the line, and we're going to ask what your advice to toy makers looking to incorporate AI into their products is, and then we're going to take a look at Martin's creation. So, Martin, why don't we start with you? What's your advice?
Yeah, I mean, actually, my advice is a bit of a segue into my video. You know, what value are you bringing to your customers when you're going to bring AI into your toys? Is it enhancing the experience in any way? Is it making it easier to use in any way? If you're just adding AI for the sake of adding AI, like the idea of a chatbot, then that's kind of cringe, and you know, maybe not the best idea. So, you know, in our case, we see how our user base, our kids are using our product, and we've identified challenges. And I'll explain that a little bit when we go to watch my video and give you a little bit of story of the inspiration of why we decided to add AI into our product.
Elnaz, what about you? You've been doing this longer than anybody, I think.
Probably. I would say, you know, my advice to everyone is start today. I'm really surprised to see still a lot of companies that they're talking about using AI, but they're not really using it. Start today. Think about the experience you can deliver to children, especially when it comes to learning, safety, excitement. And one thing to focus on, I see a lot of companies make this mistake that they have pre-developed content that focuses on specific, you know, questions and answers. I would say with all the technologies today, think about how you can create this interactivity through your toy with their kids to actually improve their creativity and interactivity with the kids.
Can I just add, focus on the product, not on the technology. Make a great product, and if AI will help you make it better, use it. If AI will not help you make it better, don't use it. To me, that's absolutely the bottom line.
In the interest of time, Martin, why don't you...
Yeah, so I'm just going to share a very short story before I show my video of why we decided to bring AI into our product. So for those of you who don't know Pixicade, what we do is we turn kids' drawings into video games. And kids have all of these amazing ideas of things that they want to draw and the games that they want to make. And you know, we donated a Pixicade kit to a child who is autistic. And he didn't have the ability to draw, the physical ability. So what he did is he spoke to his caretaker and said, this is what I want my game to be. And the caretaker was the one who actually got to draw it. And then he got to see his game come to life. And it's the same level of excitement that's there, whether you draw it. So it's that kind of idea of like, these kids have all of this creative thought out there. And many of them might not be able to do it, but that doesn't mean they're not as creative as the next person out there. So we wanted to make it possible for everybody, regardless of what your skills are, to be able to make a great looking game and match the vision that you have in your head. So I'm going to show this video. Maybe. At Pixicade, we've always believed in the power of creativity to transform ideas into reality. Our platform has empowered kids to turn their drawings into playable games, unlocking their imagination like never before. A child can simply draw their ideas on paper, snap a photo of the drawing, and seconds later, that becomes a playable game they can edit and share. But now, we're taking this to the next level by integrating the power of artificial intelligence into Pixicade. Let's be honest with ourselves, not everybody is a great artist. That doesn't, however, mean they're not incredibly creative. They might just not have the skills or capabilities to show it visually. I, for one, fall into that category. With Pixicade's AI integration, a child need only upload a sketch, an idea of what they want, and the AI interprets their drawings and generates a beautiful, fully detailed image from it. This works with abstract images as well. You can even just type a prompt and tell the system what it is that you want. In a matter of minutes, you can have a plethora of incredible looking assets at your disposal to construct your perfect game. Speaking of your perfect game, let's see what AI can do to our classic play pattern of taking a photo of your drawing. Our AI can interpret your drawing and generate a fully illustrated, amazing looking game from it. This game was created in one click. It's as simple as taking a photo. Of course, true to the Pixicade play pattern, you can also modify and enhance the game as well. We've added some of our other AI assets and power up to this game to make it really come alive. Why does AI matter for Pixicade? For kids, it removes the barriers to creativity. Even the smallest doodle can become a masterpiece in their game world. For parents and educators, Pixicade becomes a gateway to STEM and creative problem solving, all while keeping it fun and approachable. Where do we go from here? Our focus is on enhancing the experience and simplifying the creative process. Our goals include automatically generating fully editable games from prompts and automatically enhancing your games at the touch of a button. All of this is with the goal of making sure that every child's vision of their perfect game becomes a reality regardless of their individual skills and capabilities. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Yeah.
So like Josh mentioned, there are many ways to incorporate AI into your product. It's not just a chatbot. We're leveraging it for understanding of content. We're leveraging for generation of content based off of what people are doing and inputs into it. So think creatively about how kids are using your products and how you can enhance it and make that experience better for everybody.
Right, and you are right. He's right down the hall if you want to play a game and
3023, come by.
And the other thing that I just want to point out, because it wasn't in the video, you have a community.
Oh yeah.
So kids can post their games, other kids can play them, and that I think is kind of magic.
Yeah, so we have a whole community of hundreds of thousands of users and people creating millions of games on our platform. The game creation process is it can be very simple and can be fun. It can be very tedious and difficult as well, depending on how you want to do. And that's one thing that AI allows us to improve upon. We can take the challenging parts out of it for some kids who aren't really up to that skill level yet. As far as like developers using AI, so I'm a developer by trade, by nature, software engineer. There's so many ways that you can use AI as part of your kind of your development platform, from coding, ideation. We actually use it for ideation a lot, where we'll come up with ideas and we just work with AI to help improve and iterate upon them. Content generation. Pixicade is all about, we have a shop, we have lots of content, there's daily activities, there's all sorts of stuff. It's kind of a big content platform. So leveraging AI to come up with ideas and help with the content generation, lots of ways, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add, ideation is a really great use of it. I think of AI as a mediocre brainstormer that comes up with a lot of ideas. And none of them are ever great, but they spark other ideas, and it's really powerful in that way.
Most of them are not good. But it's up to us to find the good ones. There's a gem in the rocks every now and then.
So talk more about the workflow. Elnaz, how do you use it in your workflow of creating your product?
Well, we use AI a lot in terms of generating lesson plans. So that's something that we are looking into utilizing in our next generation product that is going to have more powerful processing power. To be able to take more like visual cues, like gesture, emotions, conversations, in order to understand how the child is actually learning. For example, if the child is frustrated, we should be able to understand and change the direction of our lessons. And it has been an interesting journey. We've been using AI to help us develop this type of lesson roadmaps and allowing teachers to actually utilize this information and approve the lessons. And at the same time, we would be able to create more interactive lessons that can benefit children to really learn. But when it comes to like gaming, this is something that we've been looking into, especially for our app that is on TV, because we want to make it more interactive. And what's really interesting is with simple prompts, you can easily create simple games, even on TV, that you can use the remote control, move things around, and it's very exciting and interesting for kids. And all I can think about is the amount of opportunities we're going to have in the future.
Yeah, you talked about ideation.
We've talked about a lot of things, but another one is it really can expand your personal capabilities. And as an example, I do a lot of art direction for Readyland, right? I'm not an artist. And what I found is extremely helpful is to use AI image generation just with myself to get something that kind of looks like what I want and then pass that to artists. So it's a great translator for all sorts of things, of ideas into images, ideas into whatever you might need.
I also kind of use it as my own personal editor. So a lot of times, for example, we're working on a federal grant application and we'll write out all the information, and then AI is kind of like our editor rather than having to find someone who's able to do that. So it's kind of like what you said, where I like using AI where we are the source of the information and AI can help us kind of iterate and improve upon it.
I think one more interesting thing you can do is there's so many applications, but just one example that I like to do is I like it to test me. So if I come up with a new business model, a strategy, a marketing angle, I say, tell me why I'm wrong, beat it up. But what about this? And you get into these deep conversations, and you can even sense they're not fully, it's not fully there. You can sense when the answer, sometimes I know what it's going to say. And then you can get through that, and you can really, it can help get you to a place where it becomes very refined what you want to communicate. And so I have seen it work really well as a tool to refine that message.
So we're going to click through, and David's going to show you. I call it old meets new. David's got some. Can you can click for David.
Yeah.
And
What's that?
so everybody remembers the classics. What happens when the classics meet AI is the way I like to think of this.
Yeah, so I'll jump in. So just a little history. Elf Labs, we own the rights to very iconic IP. Characters like Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel. We bought the original Junior Elf book portfolio, which predates Disney by about 50 years. And in doing that, we went to the United States Patent and Trademark Office and locked up the rights to our characters. And it was a long battle, but we won, and we had IP. And so our focus is really content. And so what gets exciting for us, and the focus for us is there's been an onslaught of content. And actually, my fellow speakers mentioned, right? AI can help create so many things, so many games, so many different products so quickly, but it's all very average and mediocre. You have to really refine it. And so I think the streamers actually did that as well. The Netflixes and Hulus and Paramounts. All of a sudden, an enormous amount of animation and content and TV shows come to market. It's hard to create a brand and an IP that really stands out. And so I think that's where AI comes in as well. If you can create something that is immersive and sticky and unique, that's how you can start to rise up. And I think my fellow speakers have done that amazingly. We're trying to do the same thing at Elf Labs. So we can click next. So we can play this video just to show you a little bit of the product we're making, and then I'll share how the AI powers it up. But basically, this is an online world, downloading and streaming in real time to a browser website through different patented technologies that allow not to have to download it to an Xbox or a PlayStation. So it's high fidelity gaming, character interaction, streaming content, all in one central hub. That's Robo Pinocchio. It's a new character of ours, a reimagination. This is all, again, just on a Chrome browser, downloading in real time. As mentioned, bringing the characters outside. That's my backyard. That's Robo Cinderella. That's a teaser for the actual show that we're producing. That's Robo Rapunzel over there with her long hair. It's another one of our brands, Sparkle Princess. We're going to be powering up these toys with AI LLMs so they can have real conversation with, with the users.
I'm going to take my camera here. I'm going to scan the QR code. Now this allows me to take Robo Cinderella and bring her right into the world with me. High quality 3D character streaming in real time.
And so the idea of bringing the character into the world, as I mentioned earlier, to foster that play where it's not just on a screen scrolling or you're not just playing games, but you bring the characters into the world. And when you start putting and because of the compression, if you noticed I mentioned compression, LLMs tend to be very heavy. There's a lot of processing data. With compression, what we're able to do is make it fit through streaming pipes, through a Wi-Fi signal, or a 5G signal even. Actually, the Cinderella in the backyard was not even Wi-Fi. It was just my T-Mobile signal. So the idea is that you can start to bring the characters into the world, play hide and seek, hide them in the background, hide them throughout the house, have the kids bring their friends over and literally use their tablets or their phones. Instead of just scrolling, go play hide and seek with your friends. Go outside and do 10 jumping jacks in the middle of a game session. Gamify that, etc. That's where AI is key, because you have to have that sophisticated level of communication and discussion where the character can really interact. And one of the biggest breakthroughs I think that we're trying to accomplish at ALF and working on is the idea through geospatial positioning tech, where you know exactly what's where based on your coordinates. You can have Cinderella on the computer screen talk to Rapunzel in the digital AR world, where, through the phone, and have your Pinocchio toy all have an actual conversation together with you as a user. So now you're like really bringing the world to life in a whole new way that's never been done before. And I think so it's all becomes what's the content and the messaging that you're bringing through this very unique delivery system of entertainment and content. And so that's our focus. And that's what we're working on.
So just click one more ahead. You're now the official clicker. So we're gonna sort of wind things, a couple of things. First of all, if you are just getting started on your AI journey, or if you have a lot of young people on your staffs, set aside time every day to experiment with AI. You owe it to them and to you. It will be a prerequisite for these kids coming out of schools to know this. This is so important. So do something AI every day, and it will fill you with imaginative ideas for your next project. And I can't thank you guys. These guys are, can we just hear it from them? They're really at the forefront of pushing the envelope and recovering, iterating, going back, fixing, and just keep building. So they will also join us over here at the Ask an Expert, where you can talk to them and ask them questions that you may have. And we hope that we've helped you on your AI journey. It's a wild one, but let's enjoy it. Okay, thank you.